What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rise and Grind. I am getting after it from home today. It is my son's third birthday. Super, super pumped for my little guy. He's 3 years old, insane. But what's up over there, Meg? What's going on your side over there? I'm all Christmassy over here. I got the tree up
You
over
do.
here.
You have all the
I've
vibes.
had it up. I've had it up for a while though. I'm not gonna lie to you. So it's been
You
up for
have
a long time.
something about the Christmas season. Everything is just cozier. Having the Christmas trees up for a long time feels so good. But happy birthday, Johnny. That was a fast 3 years.
Blinked.
That's crazy.
You know what they say? They say don't blink.
Yeah, seriously. Time just keeps pushing on, and now we're at the end of the year.
And here we are. It's wild. And speaking of being at the end of the year, one of the things that's like it literally blows my mind is, have you seen all this stuff going on right now with how Gemini is starting to pull ahead of ChatGPT?
Yeah, I have actually, especially with the integrations that they're doing lately. But what have you seen?
Well, right now, my guy Sam Altman is sweating. He's like, "What?" He's like, "What the hell is going on here?" He sent out like a massive email internally in his company, and he's like, what they're calling, like, he's like freaking out because apparently, right now, everything is about the race to be the first company that is going to be the all-in-one brand, right? Because like at the end of the day, which is pretty crazy,
Wait,
what
John, let me chime in really quick. Oh, there you are. Your
can you hear
camera was
me?
black for a second.
Yeah, your camera was off for a
Oh,
sec.
okay.
Now you're back.
I was readjusting the connection to my personal Instagram. All right, so now my personal Facebook. So all right, sorry about that. So, but could you guys hear me though before?
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, with that said, so it's a race right now from all these major AI, large language model companies like OpenAI and Google and Meta. But so their objective is to be the company who is the do it all, right? Like, and so because Gemini had a massive pull ahead in certain areas, and it's with like multitasking and certain coding that it's doing, that like ChatGPT was shocked that it could get ahead of them where they were. So yeah. Anyway, right now they're just sweating because they're freaking out. And I heard this. In the Diary of the CEO podcast. He had one of these guys that essentially were on the podcast talking about AI and how it's going to be bad for everybody, etc. But he said that, like, in a nutshell, when it comes to the race, he's like, most people don't realize what they're actually racing for. They're racing to be the company who essentially is the sole provider for every place of commerce possible. So like, if you're obviously they're out there in the world saying it's not going to replace you. It's not going to replace you. But this guy on this podcast is saying, yes, it's going to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
And they want the first person to get agentic AI, and the AGI, which we have not achieved yet. Nobody's achieved it yet. That's going to be the main brand that is, doing all of the work. The government's going to hire to do all the different things. Like, so there's a lot of these AI companies that are racing to be the first, so that they can be the selection for the mass market. So anyway, so it's interesting to see OpenAI sweating like that because they've been so far ahead of everybody, and that's why they're tripping right now.
Yeah, definitely. I just read an article this morning about how, I think kind of similar to what you're saying. They're saying for $100,000 a year, we'll give you the reins to test some sort of AI product or code or new project, essentially, to release. So like you said, a race for AI. And now they're kind of giving developers a sandbox for it.
Yeah. And it's smart because obviously once you do that, then way more people are going to jump on there. They're going to see it. But very, very interesting times ahead. It's crazy that we're living in this world that, like, we have the next not human race, right? But like the next species being created by us.
Yeah, kind of spooky when you put it that way.
Yeah, it is. It's a new species.
Yeah. Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers was huge, and HBO Max. That's crazy.
Wild. Yeah, wild.
We thought Jersey was going to be busy before. Now, my gosh, those
Yeah,
studios are going to be packed.
East Hollywood. it's
Yeah,
so
essentially.
it's literally insane. I was at PJ's car wash in Wall, and I'm sitting there, and this guy rolls up in this like really really nice BMW, and he's got California plates. And I'm sitting there, and then like I was like in front of him, so I was waiting for my car, and so was he. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this dude, he just looked like he was from Cali, right? He just had this Cali vibe about him. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's so wild. Like, we're gonna start living in a world now where like we're gonna be at a car wash or at a coffee shop or like at the boardwalk or somewhere random, and like you don't even know it, but like there's some sort of like huge producer next to you, right? And that's
That's true.
obviously the ones that you don't know. There's gonna be so many where Angelica, my cousin, was at the boardwalk in Point Pleasant Beach, and Tina Fey was there
Yeah.
filming, right? Like
They were
there's
filming Four Seasons.
yeah, right. And Four Seasons has been all over Jersey recently by us, like real
Hmm.
by us. So it's weird. Like I feel like the only real pop of like wow, like stardom that Jersey's had like in a while was like the cast of Jersey Shore walking around Seaside and like in that area. So it's just weird now that like you have all of these celebrities that are coming to Jersey now because of the Netflix building a studio and them starting to film, and people in that industry already getting ahead of themselves and starting to film in Jersey and film at the Jersey Shore and
Hmm.
all these different Central Jersey areas that we're in. And yes, there's the Central Jersey people. And it's like at the end of the day, it's just wild though that that's going to be our future. So yeah, weird. I was getting my car washed and I see this guy. It looks like he has got Cali plates on, and I just said to myself like, normally I would think like, oh, is he in a rent a car? Like, is he an enterprise car right now? Like that says different plates, but like no, like this is going to be the new normal if you live in New Jersey in the Central Jersey area or the Jersey Shore area. Like there's just so much more activity that's happening with
Hmm.
filming and like these stars that are just at like different like locations. And so it's going to be really cool and interesting and just like so different from how we grew up, because like if growing up, like if you went to New York, like which is super close to us, right, it's like yeah, like there you go, like you run into some people or see some people, and like now it's just weird to think like you could be going to your like normal rook or normal like
Yeah.
place that you would
Grocery
just
store,
go
Whole
get
Foods.
anywhere normal that you would normally go and potentially run into somebody. And it's
Yeah.
funny because I think about my grandma Joni, aka Joni Pepperoni. She growing up, it's wild. Like she growing up would always like get super dressed up everywhere she went. Doesn't matter if she's going to the grocery store, she's going here, she's going there, makeup, hair, the
Yep.
whole nine. And I'd be, grandma, where are you going? To the grocery store. Looks like she's going to a runway. I'm like, okay, no problem. But she's like, you never know who you're gonna run into out there, right? So I remember just being like, all right, like, and so like kind of shaped me a little bit. But like now that's for real. Like you could legit be at a grocery store and run into Bradley Cooper.
I mean,
Like,
that's so true. It's so funny. I had the same exact thought yesterday because my Nana's the same way. She always, before she got out of the car, would put fresh lipstick on, make sure her hair looked good. And I was on the way to the grocery store yesterday at like 7 in the morning, not looking great like that. And that thought went through my head like, I could run into anybody. I better go home and get dressed and try again.
Megan was that girl in high school that had like the pajama pants on and
Never.
like all that.
Oh my
Dude, I'm
gosh.
kidding.
Never. When Chris and I first started dating, it was a thing because even if we were going to get gas in the car, I was a fashion student. I would put a full blown outfit on, make sure my hair was done, my makeup was done. I never went out of the
Hmm.
house in sweatpants.
Yeah, I'm just busting. But honestly, that always bothered me. Even when I was in high school, seeing people like dressed like that, like, or that always blew my mind that people could do that. Like, wake up and go out into the public wearing pajamas. Like,
Listen, to each their own. The confidence you gotta have.
I don't think it's confidence. I think it's the opposite South way. It's not like
Maybe.
you don't gotta have confidence to go out wearing like that. You gotta just not give a shit.
Yeah, that's very true.
If you don't give a shit, then I think that's a prerequisite of
That
doing
is
that.
so true.
But
But so
anyway,
with Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers, there's a huge opportunity for set designers in the area, real estate agents in New Jersey, restaurants, anyone in the hospitality industry. There's going to be a lot more people coming into the area.
and adapting social, building all these great campaigns for movies coming,
Yeah,
all that, all
that'd be
that.
so cool.
Yeah, I'm reaching out anytime I see like big people that are like a part of building Netflix or these studios over here, because Paramount is building a studio in up in Bayonne.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, so like Jersey, like there, like where we are is one component, but like Like the studios, Hollywood studios are building all over Jersey right now. It's not just by us.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so it's like up North Jersey, it's over here, all of that. So super, super interesting times that we're living in right now.
Wild. Have you seen Pantone's color of the year?
I sure haven't.
Oh my gosh. Ready to be so underwhelmed?
What is it?
I'm going to show
You
you.
gonna share it? You gonna cast
Yeah.
it?
Why not?
Might as well.
Bum ba White. It's
What?
white. Isn't that so underwhelming? People are pissed. It's called Cloud Dancer. And I saw some post of the reasoning behind it being like it's a reset, like it's a societal reset, like everybody is going like clean, like we have like this sober trend, like think of like white doesn't have like imperfections.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But it's so boring.
Yeah,
Isn't it so boring?
I don't love that.
People are saying like we really could have used true color as opposed to just white. Like we really could have used like something that was lively and bright and added emotion as opposed to that.
That almost feels lazy.
Yeah, that's what people are saying. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're not getting good feedback on their colors so far.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Em. Em's got an
I'm just
opinion.
laughing. No, but I have seen recently, like this week, a few posts on Instagram where it was like doing side by side photos of like 70s, 80s, 90s to like today, and how in every aspect it's just like a loss of color. Like it was like crowds of people on the street and like their outfits compared to like crowds today, and it's like we're going totally towards a grayscale. Like same with just architecture, like how you decorate the inside of your home. And it was like saying how color like stimulates the mind and stuff, and we're just like going towards this like drone AI like pilot mode, and you can like see it in how like color has just been taken out of everything. So the fact that they chose white it's pretty interesting. It just
I
goes
know.
right along with that. Yeah.
There are so
like,
many colors
what?
to choose from.
That's like, you know what it is? It's like I don't know. In the daily consumer life, it doesn't feel relevant to me because like when you picture like a couple years back, like people were doing like super white kitchens and like
Mhm.
painting their houses gray, and like those tones. Like I did that in brick. Like
Right.
in 2018, my entire house, I literally painted my entire house different colors of light gray,
Yeah.
and had a completely white kitchen.
That was so in.
It was, right? And it's like
Yeah.
now to think about like that being like the color of the year, where like you're seeing all these different like, obviously pop culture is created by movies and like the things that we see online, etc.
Mhm.
All the movies and things that I'm seeing now are like, I just watched a movie last night and the lady's entire home was like her kitchen and her cabinets were green.
Yeah.
And like
You're
there
seeing
was
a
like, you
lot
know what
more
I
color.
mean? Yeah, I'm just seeing so much more color. So it's very interesting that they went that route. But
Mhm.
this is the challenge though too, right? Like, you know, who came up with that? You know, like whoever collaborated on that, like that's like their, I guess, reality, right? Like that's like that's what they're about. I don't know, but I just don't see that being accurate.
I don't think so either.
You know, like I just don't see it being accurate right now. But hey, you know, to each his own.
Yeah, apparently there's a whole team that comes up with that color. Imagine paying a whole team of color analysts to come up with the color of the year, and they come back to you and they're like, it's white.
White. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no way.
Oh, what a waste of money. It's crazy. The last thing that I have to talk about is the importance of nurturing leads. And this
Oh,
has been
wait, hold on. You're talking to my soul right now.
I
Keep going.
know. So you'll have some good input on this because I feel like this has been an ongoing conversation, but so many people forget that the lead nurture part of the process is the most important part because you can get a ton of interested people in the door, but if they never hear from you again, they're not going to remember you at all. And normally it takes people a longer time to make a decision, especially if you are selling a high ticket item. People aren't going to spend $5,000 on a whim because your ad looked really cool, right? Chances are they're going to be interested, they're going to reach out in some way, and then you're going to need to have ongoing conversations with them until they make a decision. And so many people forget about this, which is where email marketing comes in, SMS marketing, retargeting ads, and there's so much importance in focusing on that part of the strategy, and not just the acquisition part.
I have so much to say about this. Were you just like trying to drop the mic there for a second? Because
I figured you would probably jump in.
Yeah. So, all right. First things first. We talk about this a lot, especially for like our clients and the people that we're communicating with, and obviously our sales team. And this is the thing. At the end of the day, a consumer has a lot of options, and their life is super busy. They have so much going on, outside of just their own personal lives. I actually heard this, and I'm going to go into this rant after this, but there are micro dopamine hits that we have. You ever like people who use TikTok or social media when they're on the toilet, or when like they're like in the middle of doing something, like it's almost like if you're going, walking to the pantry or walking to the kitchen real quick, like people will do a quick scroll while they're in the middle of that. And it's for a micro dopamine hit and to fill time in your brain, because your brain is addicted to obviously getting attention and things and like looking at different stuff. And anyway, with that said, that's how busy our minds are, right? So when you're thinking about like nurturing a lead or a prospect, think about that's the level of engagement that they are to their phones and to what's going on in their life. So if you don't have nurturing in play, texting, emails, drip sequences, obviously retargeting banners, and you're adding expertise and you're adding thought leadership and you're adding to their lives, whether it's funny, entertaining, whatever else, and everything in between, then you're going to be forgot about, right? Like, and I'll give you a quick example. Like we had a prospect that we were working on. They were in our adapting socials funnel because we dropped funnels for over 180 days. And literally they were in our funnel, and by like 100, I think it was like day 120, they wound up reaching back out, and they had something going on in their life, and they got occupied, and our emails like hitting their inbox like time and time again eventually cracked through, right? And they were getting texts, they were getting other things, but either way, my point is that like, because they're so busy, put things on autopilot so that you cannot like remove the human error and the human, what I'll call laziness component, right? Your sales team, whoever, you're busy, you have stuff going on. So if you have an opportunity to automate those types of things and create lead nurturing drip campaign sequences, it is going to help a ton so that you are still in front of these people. And again, like I said, you don't want to be just overall like trying to sell people. The same thing with social media, where you're not trying to just sell. Like ultimately, when you look at it, like we put one of the things that we did when we tested, and this is one of the things that the person wound up closing on, it was that Kevin Hart like stand-up face. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But like, it's that famous.
Oh, I know what one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's that one, and I'm just gonna pull it up here. But so I literally one of the last texts that they get from us is this. So they'll get this one as the last text from us. And like, just like where are you, like what happened, like we had a conversation, like where did you go, right? And ultimately, again, like that was what closed that deal. That was 120 days in to a lead nurture campaign, right? So bottom line is you got to do it, you got to make sure you're on top of it. But I do want to talk about something real quick, actually. Do you have any more topics?
No, that's it.
Fresh out. Okay. So one of the things I wanted to talk about after hearing this, so I was listening to that Diary of a CEO podcast, great podcast. If you're into personal development, business, and just world topics, like it's a great pod. But he had this guy, I don't remember his name right now, but he was, we'll drop the link, but essentially he sold his company to Google a long time ago. And then Google wound up like absorbing him into the company. And then he was on the team, right? And it was before 2013. And he said when Google decided to essentially put push notifications on their email, application software, right? And he was really upset about this because he's like, you're gonna change the way people work for the rest of history, right? Like right now, like people like are at the dinner table and they're like with their families and they're not getting like an instant notification because email at that time was not instant notifications. It was just,
Hmm.
hey, when you got back to your computer, like that's when you read your emails and you replied to your emails. Like so he's like, to Google, he like made this 180-page deck on why they shouldn't do it, right? And it went viral in the company, and they wound up keeping him on. But like, the whole thing about it was back then, people like when you look at mail, right? Like the only way that you read mail is if you go to your mailbox, you grab it, and then you go inside, you read it, and that's it. Like that's how people used to be able to contact people. Then obviously electronic mail came into play, email, and then it was a lot more quick, but it was still like you had to be at your computer to do it, right? Like
Hmm.
the quintessential 90s kids, like the only way I'd be on AIM, like AIM, like instant messenger, like would be after school and then real quick after dinner, and then that was it. My mom was like, get off this thing, like you gotta go watch cartoons and Ed and Eddie. And so literally it's like right now, I told Jacqueline after I heard that, I was like, you know what? It's so true because I'll find myself, like I said earlier, if Jacqueline's like, hey, can you go run and grab something for the kids, like in the kitchen? I'll go and on my way in, I'll grab my phone real quick and I'll just do a quick scroll, right, and just look at some
Hmm.
stuff. And it's a high level of addiction to our devices,
Yeah,
and and
definitely.
and so what I did literally over the weekend and this is what I'm gonna see how long I can last doing this, but I deleted all of my social and my apps essentially off of my phone, and I have it on my iPad, which I'm on right now, so that like when I want to be plugged into social media or when I want to actually be able to like to sit down and look at my business emails and like and do business, that like I have to be plugged in and like in that mind space and not
Hmm.
just like in my day to day, like when I'm in the middle of doing everything or whatever else. Cause like I want my mind to be productive and I don't want it to be like when you think about how anxious people are and like whatever else. I think social is a huge contribution because of us being so addicted to these devices and
Yeah.
like what's going on them, but also it's like it's because we're always constantly wanting to see what's happening in this world, right? So like I'm testing this and I'm going back to the 90s kid mentality. I'm going to try it this week. I'll report back on it, but that's where I want to be. I want to be present, and like obviously my kids motivate me the most to want to do this because it's like when I'm with them, I don't want to be like thinking about what's going on social media on my phone, right? Or like what happened in my email, right? It's like no, like when I'm working, yes, I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be in front of my iPad and my computer. But
Hmm.
when I'm not, like, and I know that I'm not gonna be thinking about it. I'm going to be removed from it so that like I can be present. I don't know. I just contribute a lot of this to like why people are so anxious because like you're waiting for that one email or that one notification, from, whatever, or what's going on in people's lives that matter and stuff. And, ultimately, I just don't think that those things are really helpful for our mental health. I think they're the opposite of helpful to our mental health.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
And also people's attention span. Like when you think about it, for me, it's like to be able to sit down and focus on anything without the interruption of an email notification, a social media notification. There's so much that interrupts your day. Um, so I haven't deleted anything, but those focuses on your phone, you know how you can
Yeah,
schedule.
Jacqueline was telling me, she's like, do that. She's like, do that
Yeah,
instead of the deletion. And I was like, I probably might do that then if that does that.
I think we'll see how deleting it goes for you because I think that's an even
Yeah.
cooler experiment. But the
Yeah.
focuses I have is like, late at night, like I don't get email notifications or like social media notifications. And on the weekend, like it almost goes completely dark. So I have tech free time to
Hmm.
totally um, just get away from tech for a second. But it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard today.
Well, it's such a part of our lives, right? And I was thinking, what also motivated me to this? Like the guy Simon Cowell from oh my goodness.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, I was gonna say American
Yeah.
Idol. That's how long I haven't watched
Well,
him in that show.
yeah.
But literally, he was being interviewed and he was saying like he has a brick phone, right? And it's his cell phone for the car. It's his car phone. And he's like, I don't get bothered with that stuff. Like, I don't live in that world, I live in my own world. I don't know. Like, I saw it and I had so many opinions on it. But like, realistically, when I think about it, it's like, you know, what's really cool about him is like, you don't know what the hell's going on in that guy's life unless you're with him,
That's
right?
true.
Like, there's something really cool about people who move that way, right? Like, unfortunately, like me personally, I'm like the face of adapting social, right? So like, I'm the public figure. Like, I have to be out there, like, talking about marketing and like doing different things. But like,
Hmm.
I really like saw that and I respected that because it's like, hey, to like see somebody who you don't know what's happening in their life at all, zero, period, unless you pick up the phone and you call them or you see them in person, is like such a like post like smartphone world thing that's so insane.
Yeah.
But like respectable, right? Like, I always like, you know, I have some family members who are like that aren't on social. Like, the only way you see them is at like holiday parties and you're just like, or Christmas parties, your family parties, whatever. And it's like, how you been? Like, 'cause you don't know, like, you genuinely don't know. But what sucks is like, they know everything going on in my life, right? Like, they're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's very
I
true.
saw this, like, you know, and they know it through like my Uncle Matt, as an example. My Uncle Matty, he is like an entrepreneur, busy guy, you know, whatever. And, but obviously his wife is on. So his wife will tell him, oh yeah, Johnny had this going on in his life or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so he knows that about me because I post it publicly, right?
Hmm.
Versus like, I never know a damn thing going on in his life until I see him at these like parties. So really, really interesting. I feel like Megan, you're quasi that, like, cause like last time you posted, I think it was 1952, but like you obviously are somebody who like but you're a stalker though. Like, so like, you don't post, but you like will like you'll watch people, you know,
Yeah,
with
I'm an
far
observer.
binoculars.
I'm a
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
kind of to that concept, like I feel like um I will share things, especially work related things, but when it comes to my personal life, I like having that like tiny bit of mystery where not everybody in this world needs to know what's going on in my life. But if you pick up the phone and call me or like we have a conversation, then you'll know more as you deserve to know more because we have a relationship.
Yeah. Totally. I get it. And so anyway, like, not that you know, I obviously I can't go dark because the world that we live in here for our
Yeah.
business and stuff. But like, you know, I'm gonna test that out and just see what that does. You know, maybe it's just maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. We'll see.
Well, I'm excited for you.
I wanna, but you know, I also that's stuff that I want for our team as well, right? Like, you know, I want our team to be able to have those moments. Like, there's always so much going on
Hmm.
with marketing and everything trending and changing and like whatever else. Like, we're always on top of it. But you know, when people are off, that's why like we talked about it. Like, when we were in our crazier days, you know, of getting our shit together at Adapting Social. You know, I remember like a lot of talk of like burnout, whatever else, and like when we had that one lady come speak who like was like a mental health expert and like a performance expert,
Yeah.
she was like, well, because picture it this way, like, it's almost like if you're a lifeguard, you know, and you're on a stand for 8 hours a day in the blistering sun, do you want to go on vacation to a beach? And
Hmm.
it's like, no, because you're for a living, you're getting blistering sun and you're on the sand and you're seeing the water. Like, so it's not the same for you when you want to go and relax. Like, you don't want to go back to your work. And with us, like, we, you know, even now, obviously, like, we go from like posting on social and thinking about social and looking at websites and like everything digital that consumers consume. That's our job. Like, we're building the sites that people are
Yep.
buying things on and like going on social media and they scroll on. Like, that entire thing is our sandbox. So when we're done with that, what are we doing? Right? We're going back to the beach, right? Like, and every day we don't have that disconnection because like everybody's pop culture and like the world lives on our sandbox.
Hmm.
So it's such an interesting thing. That's why I really want to test it, because that's the part is we don't get that unplug. Like, if you're somebody, I mean, and most people work on a computer, but like they're not like living on social media for a living, right? And posting and
Right.
like, you know, sending emails. Like, when you think about it, I actually never thought about it this way until right now. I just had a ingenious moment, but it's like everything that is like what everybody's addicted to is our entire business, right? Like, we post on social, right? Everyone's addicted to social media. For work and commerce, like we send emails out on behalf of like where do most people
Hmm.
in business spend the most of their time? Answering emails, replying to emails. It's like what like we're creating ads on obviously content. Like, the list goes on and on, right? Like we are designing things for brands, t-shirts where people put
Yeah.
them on and they wear them, right? Like
Even as far as search, think about how much time you spend on ChatGPT having conversations or searching for things. That we do too.
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So it's like we're in all of these intersections of where people spend like 80 to 90% of their days. And so like for us, and anybody who's watching this that has that same situation, it's just really important that you do get that little bit of cleanse and time away, from the computer and from your phones for sure.
Definitely.
But all right, I think that's all she wrote. Obviously, today is Johnny's B-Day, so I got to get back over to that situation. Yeah, super pumped. But Em, what do you got for us? Give us a little motivation over there, Em. We can't leave you. I know you. She's
like,
probably
happy birthday, Johnny.
She's got a list of just motivational quotes now ready to go. Like, send us.
No, I actually don't today.
We're in the last month of the year, right? And we keep talking about this. We're in the last month of the year, and this is like the put up or shut up time for everybody, right? Like, and so we have, what the hell is it? The 8th. So we have 3 weeks left of this 2025. And hit us with some 3-week energy left in the year, Em.
Well, I didn't really prepare for this one today. But I think that with only a few weeks left in the year, I think that it's important to start kind of thinking and like defining what success means to you and what that looks like to you. Because I think it could mean a lot of different things to different people. And some people want to like climb the corporate ladder. Maybe it's like you buy the big house or the expensive car or the nice watch or clothes or something like that, or you can travel and take the trip. So I think, starting to think about like, what does success mean to you and how can you kind of make some goals around that to get closer towards that definition for yourself.
I love it.
That's awesome, man.
Thanks.
That was a good one.
See, that's why I got to call on Em for 2 reasons. One, she always throws out some good friggin' half moon wisdom, right? And then I always love Megan being like, thank God it's not me. But no, I want to touch on that for a sec though, because like what I love about it is, I was thinking about it with Johnny, and like, it took me and Jacqueline like almost 4 years to have our first child. We had some fertility issues, and we were under the impression that like maybe we being parents was not in the cards for us. We didn't know. And I remember like just wanting that outcome, right? Like, and Jacqueline's analogy was like, hey, like I feel like we're like in a doctor's office and like everyone keeps getting called, like we're not getting called, we're just waiting in the waiting room. And like, it makes me think like in a bigger scope to zoom out like about life, right? Because like with life, it's like we want attain whatever external material objects or who we want to be. We want to become already. And the craziest part is, and it's so cliche, but it's like, when I think about what Jacqueline and I had to like go through to then have Johnny, like who we became in that process was so important. And I think that's the bigger part. Because in life, like obviously when we're done and we pack up, what we're doing here, we can't like bring anything with us, obviously, to the next part of our existence, right? And so it's like, what can we bring and what are we gonna be remembered by? And the crazy thing too is like, the people like my great grandkids will not know who I am, and they're not going to give a shit who I am, honestly, right? But the people like you guys, right, like Megan and and my kids and like their kids and like the people that are close to me, my family that are alive right now, my friends are now, like those are the most important people to me ever, right? Like, not to say that I don't care about my great grandkids, but I really don't. Right, like they don't matter to me as much as the people matter to me right now, because they're not gonna know who I am. Like if I asked you, Emily, who's your great grandfather, you don't even know, and like honestly you don't even think about it, right? Like we don't, like, but if I said who's your grandfather or who's your grandmother, like that hits you right in the feels, right? Like they matter to you. So ultimately, what I'm saying is that like that. I think the biggest thing about what you're talking about, and most people forget that like this is not a destination game. Like life is for sure the opposite of a destination game. That's where people get depressed. That's where people get anxious, whatever else. Because like, oh, I want that thing, or I want to already have that job, or I already want to have that X. Like, and it's like that part. Once you achieve it, like you realize that like okay. That's why most people, when they sell their business, like most founders, like, yo, I want to exit a large exit. And like, I'll be super happy when I get there. And I've talked to a lot of them. And like, most of these people get really, like, super severely depressed the day they sell their business because they reach that air quote destination, right? Where it's like they fought and worked so hard for, and now that's over, right? But like, if
It's like
you
their
look at
sense
life,
of purpose, and now they have to
correct, right?
kind of
Because you're
figure
so,
out what they're doing next. Yeah.
yeah, because it's not about that, right? It's about who you're trying to become, right? It's like if you don't focus on, like that's why. So back to your awesome uh, 3 week energy quote. You know, it's like when you think about it, if you're moving into the new year, I think that's the energy focus we have to have, right? It's like who are you trying to become,
Hmm.
right? I've met people who are in their 60s and 70s that are still trying to figure that out, right? And like that is, and major part scares the shit out of me, right?
But I
Because
do love that because it's like it is never too late to start something new and try something maybe you've always wanted or to pivot. And I think especially like I think like turning 30 kind of like or well, I'm 31 now, but these past 2 years have kind of like changed my perspective on that because I felt like in my 20s I needed to have it all figured out and I needed to like know so bad like what's my purpose, like what am I trying to like do with my life, like what are my gifts, like just trying to figure it out and just feeling like you need to know so badly and you need to already be good at that thing. And I think as you get older you get a little bit wiser and you know that you can always pick something new up and start again no matter what age you are. So
facts. And on that point, it's funny because when you think about older people, you know how like they joke around, they say like older people start to give less of a shit as they get older. They'll speak their minds, they'll say whatever they
mhm.
want to say. And you know what? Like I feel like with experience, the older you get, the more things get into perspective of how they're not that serious, right? Like the things that you think are so serious right now, right? Like life or death. Like when you look back, you're like, why was I even worried about that?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't that serious. And ultimately, you only get that though with experience and age, right? And
Yeah.
so,
It's definitely easier
anyway,
to look back on and be like, okay, kind of everything that I had to go through makes sense now that it got me to like where I am today. And then
mhm,
if you start feeling like more aligned with your path and your purpose, and then it all kind of falls into place and makes sense.
100%, 100%. And like that's why I remember like my biggest fear in life at one point was going under the knife, right? Like surgery. Like I was always like when I was younger, I was like, no, I never want surgery, can't ever get it. And I remember I had to get it in 2021, and literally for like a week leading up to it, like I was like preparing for my death. I was like, the world is gonna end. Like, there's no way. Like, and then and then I got the surgery, and it was obviously years ago now. But like, I got to tell you, like, I don't even think about it anymore. I was like, what? Like, what was I? I had a whole week of just angst that like
Mhm.
now I'm not even thinking about. Right. So like, that's life. And bottom line is going into the new year, we got to bring in new year energy, right?
For sure.
And so, that new year energy is about who you become, right? And that's what's going to lead everything. So, all right, guys, happy Monday. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And again, there's 3 weeks left in the year. So hopefully you get after it and then also start to prepare and plan your goals for 2026, which is bananas. Guys, have a great day and we'll see you soon.